Firstly, welcome Aaron.
Thanks for having me.
So a quick introduction on Aaron. Aaron's our top team coach. We will run through some of his stats as we go through, but he's a club junior, came right through the ranks, played with the club since under sixes. Yep. So come over when the club was amalgamated, started at Margate Football Club and then came over and when Power was first formed, started playing his junior football at Power. I think he's only played for one other club.
Yeah, for half a season, yeah.
Yeah, half a season for one other club. So when you're 38...
39
and only played for one other club for half a season, that's a pretty good record. So and that's from under sixes, so that's excellent work. Not much like myself, who's played for about 27,000 clubs, but it's good to see one person gone right through our junior ranks, right through our senior ranks, and now he's coaching our top team. So, and also a life member. So he's been got made a life member of the club, which I dare say was a pretty proud moment. So for anyone that's been involved in the club for that long and to become a life member, it is a good moment. Firstly, I'll go to your juniors. So give us a little background on your junior playing career.
Yeah, so juniors started at Margate when I was 6, so I played under 7s for 2 years. Got to 16s and we were playing 16s and I was playing for the seniors, Div 3 at the time. Then 2000, Power amalgamated, that was under 18s. We had a semi-pro youth team it was at the time. Probably one of the best memories. I had a good bunch of boys that we put together. Won the league that year, and then we all transitioned. That whole team pretty much transitioned into the seniors, and I guess the rest is history really, where we went to. And I was lucky enough to win some leagues, and I was part of a really successful era at Peninsula Power. So as a player,
that was probably the start of everything for Peninsula Power too. We got, I think under you, we got promoted into the next levels as well. We got promoted and promoted and promoted.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, so I think we got promoted nearly every year, and it was a good building phase for the club going forward. That and stood us in good stead for where we are now.
Yeah. On the junior bit, just as a player, I was a striker all my career till I got to I think 13s, and two of my best mates who were playing at PCYC come over and started playing for us, and they were very good players, and they ended up going up front and I got put out in the wing. So I played out in the wing until I got to 18s, and then I got put centre midfield, and that's pretty much where I played.
And he was a good central midfielder.
That's where I played in my career.
Yeah, I coached him at central midfield and he was excellent. A general. Talked a lot, which we tell all the kids, and probably talked a little bit too much sometimes, some of the coaches will say. But he was a very, very good organiser in the midfield. So, in your senior career, so as I said, you've played seniors at the club as well through that era as well as the new era as well.
Yep.
So won a couple of premierships with the club as well as a player and as a coach, but as a player in your senior career.
Yeah, so seniors, I guess 2000 when we were playing 18s was the start of it. Like I said, we transitioned a lot of us into the first team. Justin Kilshaw was the coach. Johnny Day was the coach, and then Johnny stayed around, and Justin put a lot of things that I use today, and he was a great coach for teaching us. We were a young lot, we were 18, 19, and he put some experienced players in, and we had a really good team. We won that in 2002. We got promoted from Div 2 to Div 1, and then Div 1 got promoted to the Premier League under Faulkner, but we had a great team. It was enjoyable to play for, a great bunch of lads. It was a really fond memory actually that year. And then I was lucky enough to, when we won the league in 2008 or 2009 with Terry coaching, that was another great memory. And yeah, like I said, I've been lucky to be part of Peninsula Power and have a really good career there. So yeah.
Excellent. Coach. So in his coaching career, he was started as a junior coach at the club as well. So we talk about players doing their apprenticeships. A lot of players, ex-players, go straight into coaching senior football, but Aaron went the other road, same as myself, went into coaching juniors. So you started at the club coaching young Juniors, 13s?
11s.
11s, yeah.
11s, yeah. Justin Kilshaw, he said, you said I was a general, and I think I really studied the game and knew the game pretty well. And he said, I think you'd be a good coach. And I think I was 19. I said, I don't want to be a coach. And he said, I've got an under 11s team for you. It's a good little team. I want you to take them. And I said, I had a thought about it. And I said, all right, I'll have a go. And I had Mick Olivieri at the time, who was the coach the previous year. He stayed on and he was excellent. He helped me with just the back stuff that I knew the football stuff, but how to put it from knowing it in here to actually teaching kids. And I think that's where it all started for me, because we won the league that year. We won the grand final, and that buzz, as I was playing at the time, seniors, but I was also coaching, and it was a different way of winning. Like, you, as a player, you can influence the game, but as a coach, you can't influence that much. And it was one of them things I thought, this is all right, and I was lucky enough to have success early as a young coach, and then, I guess transpired from there.
Yeah. And a lot of coaches go into, a lot of players go into coaching for that buzz. That's the only thing, they the transition to coaching is where they get that buzz that they can't get playing anymore. So your senior career, obviously you've been QPL Coach of the Year. So in 2018 you had an undefeated season, undefeated 22 games, 22 I think.
Yeah,
I think it was 22 games undefeated, a final series, and then won the grand final and got named QPL Coach of the Year. Went on, everyone said we wouldn't be able to compete in the NPL. Went into the NPL and won our first 14 games straight. So I think that might have opened some eyes on some people. So give us a little background on that undefeated season.
Yeah, the undefeated season. Obviously, I had good backroom staff, and Benny's an excellent assistant, and had some good players, a lot of good players, to be honest. It was one of them seasons. I guess we did a lot of planning. We put a lot into it. After the year before, we were in the BPL, and I think we won the Canali Cup. It was 17, wasn't it? Yes, so 17. We won the Canali Cup, FFA round of 32. Lost the grand final to Lions. Finished second in the league. So we knew we had a couple of little things we had to fix, and we put them in place for that QPL season. We thought we were ready to go in the NPL, and I know there was only 2 teams that got put in the NPL and we didn't, and I think there was some people disappointed about that, but for us it probably actually helped us, and it grounded us, and we had a good team, and the boys worked really hard that year, and I think it was the first time we'd gone to 3 nights. I think a lot of the time we were training 3 nights, and the boys really stepped up, and it was a good season. I think we had 1 draw for the year, and it was just one of them things. It just happened for us. Like every week, I don't know, some of the young boys and girls, and you just know when you walk in the change room as a player and you look around and go, this is a good team. I just have that feeling we're going to win every week. As a coach, I had that. You'd walk in and you just saw the confidence. They trained hard. They knew, they worked hard, and you just knew every week that it'd take something really special to beat us. And there was probably one game up at Wanderers. We had injuries everywhere. I think we had 12 players that day. We had a few 20s step in, and they did a really good job. But we went there. Mickey Ryan broke his elbow in the first half, and we scored in the last minute to win 2-1. And it was one of them games. It was right at the end of the round, and you just knew from then on that we were going to keep going on, which we did.
No, excellent. It was a good year. So most memorable moments in playing.
Yep.
What was your most memorable play as a player?
I probably got a couple. The 2000 with my that youth team that we had, that we were told that we probably wouldn't win a game. We had a lot of players that hadn't played big level or high level, and we just all come together as a group. That was a really good memory that year. 2002, when we got promoted from Div 2 to Div 1, played with all my mates. That was a really special one. And there's plenty of others, but they're probably 2 that really stick in. Actually, when we got promoted to the Premier League and we had to go to Toowoomba, and we went there and won 5-1. We were down 1-0 in the first 30 seconds. I remember going that game, goodness me, we're not ready for Toowoomba's just come out and absolutely hammered us. And pressed us, bang goal, and I'm just sitting there going 30 seconds. And that game we took control and won 5-1, and they had to come back. It was a return leg that year, and they had to come back to us, but at 5-1, I think we had a party on the way home on the bus, because we roughly knew that, we'd done the job, and then they come back. I think we won 4-0 at home. So that was the 3 big memories for me of playing.
Yep. And as a coach, I mean, you got a lot of you've got a lot of memories as a coach, but
Yeah.
what are the big ones for you as a coach?
Big ones. I think that first year under 11s, coaching under 11s is a great memory. And I had some real good players in there. I had some great kids, and I'm still friends with a lot of them today. So that was a really good memory. 2017 FFA Cup, probably one of the best experiences. We went into camp and had like a full thingo, and that was excellent, and we did really well in that game. And then obviously the 2018 undefeated season is probably the other one. It's just a really good year.
Yeah. When I ask most coaches what their favourite memories are as coaches, and it doesn't matter whether they've been coaching for a lifetime or 5 years, most of them will go back to a junior team, and even myself, I go back to a team I had at under 8s where we were put in the wrong division. We played in the highest division with the worst kids, and they were some of the worst kids in the club. Some of them had never kicked the ball before. I think the first game we got beat 22-0. Right, and we played that same game at the end, the same team at the end of the year, and we were 1-0 up at half time. And the coach came to me and said, I don't know what you've done with this team, but they are amazing. They ended up beating us 3-1, but that team that beat us went through a whole season undefeated. Out of that team, but that couldn't kick a ball, I had 6 players out of that team that went on and played in the NPL when they were in the 18s. They stayed in the game nearly their whole life. So for me, that's a really memorable moment, and most coaches go back and will tell you that it was a younger age group that did it, the premierships, all that sort of stuff. When you've got great players are great, but when you take a team from nothing to something, like we both have, they're the big things for us. So the last thing I wanted to quickly speak about was, I think that's it.
Questions? Selecting.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Last thing I wanted to speak quickly about is so when you're selecting a top team, what qualities are you looking for in players? I mean,
Yep.
I know that we've got players coming through, and there'll be players out there that are interested in what you're looking for as a top team coach, or other top team coaches are looking for to when they're selected. And what should they be working on, to get them to that next level?
I think for me, and probably the way I played, was hardworking and attitude is two massive things. You can have all the skill in the world, but if you don't have work ethic, you don't have a good attitude, it's going to be tough to play in a team, especially if there's some big personalities in that team, players you don't get along with. So I'd say them two, and both of our styles and the way the club plays, we play a high press. So if you don't work hard in a high press, you're going to let down your teammates. Your coaches are probably going to select you too often. So that, and it's a team sport, and your attitude has to be spot on. Sometimes you're not going to be selected in the team. Sometimes you've got to work harder to make the team. And that's probably a big thing. Obviously skill and stuff like that. You've got to be versatile. You've got to be able to play. If you have a look at the top team, I think nearly most of the players can all play in different positions. They're not just a centre half or a striker. They can all play. We can fit into different formations and do different things. So I think they're probably the 3 things that I would look at when I'm trying to build a team.
Versatility is massive when we say that, and Aaron said he was a striker right up until he started playing older age groups. So you've got to be versatile. We've had I think Terry signed Paul Brownlee as a striker and made him a centre back. He was one of the leading goal scorers in the comp at Brisbane City, and when Terry signed him, he put him in at centre back. So you've got to be versatile, and you've got to be able to do what the coach wants. Same question from Liam Myers.
For that, it's probably a little bit different for the younger players coming in, like a under 20 or a 16 or 18. Just doing your job and doing it well. You don't have to. You just got to do your job. Like, we've got a lot of good players in the team, and everyone has a role to do. And if you do too much or you don't do enough, like work rate or whatever, that's where you're not going to get your chance, or you're going to get your half a chance, and you're probably not going to get another one for a while, because it's like, you're just not there yet. But if you come in and don't make any mistakes or make limited mistakes, you do your job, you go, he can play.
So someone like a Tommy Strickland, who's in the team now, so when he first started, he started on the bench a lot of the games, didn't he?
Well, when I come in, I think I played him left wing, and I just thought he was really talented, and I said, I'll work with you and put you there. But he worked hard, and that was one of them things. He worked really hard, and he's obviously very skillful. But have a look at him now. He's one of the main players in our team. Our team functions a lot around what Tom does.
Named in the NPL Team of the Year.
Yeah.
Last year. So
Yeah, and he had a very good year last year. But he's a big player in our team, and he's obviously intelligent, but he just does his job. And you have a look at him. A bad game for him is still here. A good game's here, but a bad game's not here. So every week you know that he's going to be giving you an 8 out of 10 at least, if you know what I mean. He's not going to give you a 3 out of 10. So probably for a young guy trying to come in, just make sure if you do get your chance, do it the best of your ability. They've put you in there for a reason. Don't try and be too flary or whatever. You just got to do your job.
Yeah. Where's about Aaron's training? Well, I'm taking that as training schedule, training of players, and how he's gone about getting his coaching licenses.
Yeah, the coaching license thing, I guess young kids come in the way of that, and I probably should have done my coaching courses a lot sooner than what I have. Like, I've done my B and I need to go from A and stuff, but there was what are my kids, 7, so probably for 7 years I did the first courses, and then the last few years I've really knuckled down again. I suppose they're getting older now, but that 5 years I didn't really do too much. I was just concentrating on family life and coaching, because it takes up a lot of your time, as you know. Yeah. So the coaching course, an extra added time under there, so that was probably why I should have done all these by now, but I haven't, and I'm getting there because you have to. But it's good teaching also. It's taught me some things that I probably didn't do before that I need to do or can improve on, so it's important that you do them.
Yeah. And obviously working with our coaches as well. I mean, Aaron's a big influence. He's come in and done sessions with my younger teams as well in years gone past, so hopefully we can get those guys back in to do sessions again somewhere down the track when all this stops. But yeah, with his training cycle as well, we'll speak quickly about your training cycle. So they're on 3 days a week, obviously. So we're in semi-professional program, not a professional program. So it's still a 3 day a week thing. Explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Mondays is usually on the balls or a recovery session. Sometimes at the pool, might get away from the pool. Depending, we have a lot of games, midweek games with the cups and stuff usually too. So as the season gets along, it really changes what we do. But Monday is usually recovery and some ball. It's not a long session, might be 40 minutes, 45 minutes, depending on what we're doing. Tuesday is usually our conditioning sessions, very similar to your stuff. It's all very, very similar, all on the balls, game related.
We've also got sports science comes in.
We've got the sports scientists that help custom the program, and something that I need to keep working at, because it's different to hand it over, that I've done everything for my own way and for so long, is to hand little bits out, and but going to the professional level, you need to start doing that, because everyone's got their role in the team as well as out of the team.
We spoke about warm-ups and stepping back from the warm-ups on game days, and it gets I have to let my assistant do it, and you've now got people that do it for you, and it's hard to step away.
It is really hard, because you've been in control and you like being in control, and then you have to trust people to do little things, and something as a warm-up is important, because usually you can, as a coach, you're standing there and you're watching, and if they're not switched on, you can either correct it or you can say or whatever. But if you're stepping back, and I actually try and step right back now and not watch too much, because I want them to take responsibility. Otherwise I'll just step in, I know. So I try and really take myself out of the situation, but it's a hard one. It's one of them things that you want to be there all the time.
But again, from a youth development point of view as well, from young players, and stepping back out of those sessions, like Aaron just said, and taking responsibility, that's how we can tell what sort of player they are. If we step out of the session and they see that as an excuse to take a bludge or not do any work, or I can hide here, I don't need to do anything, coach is not watching, then we know that they're probably the wrong players. And as Aaron said, that's an attitude thing. So again, giving them responsibility, and especially in the top team, handing responsibility back over to those guys shows what sort of attitude and what sort of leadership qualities those players have. So no different in the youth spectrum as well. We spoke about that. We've spoken about building players, building leaders, building better people as well as better footballers. That's one of our mantras in the academy. So and that flows into the top team as well when he's talking about taking responsibility.
And a Thursday night is usually a lot of shape or set pieces. It's a lower intensity night for us. trying to keep them fresh for Saturday, and we do play a pretty high tempo game, so the fresh we can try and keep them to an extent for Saturday. Depends if we play on Sunday. Thursday will be a bit heavier, but usually that's how our week goes.
Yeah, Wes was talking about your coaching qualifications, your training going through and up, but you've answered a lot of that.
Oh.
I think going back, a lot of it was experience. Maybe.
Yeah, it's experience, and I'm a big believer in, as Nicole just said. Wes's question was about what was
training pathways.
Yeah, training pathways going forward. I'm a big believer in coaches that, you know, and don't get me wrong, there are some very good coaches that come straight out of senior football and into senior coaching and go on and be quite successful. But I also see a lot of coaches coming out and coaching in the youth pathways, and especially in MPL and QPL at the higher level, and they've done very little coaching. They've got very little experience, and you know, for me, just because you've been a great player doesn't mean you're going to be a great coach. So experience in those things, starting at younger age groups, learning your craft through, you know, 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, those age groups, and even 12s, 13s is excellent, you know, development for a coach. And the qualities is by experience sometimes. So
how did Aaron go up?
One of the things about, for me, with the coaching was, when Justin was there, we played 3-5-2.
Yep.
When Terry come, we played 4-4-2. And then when I was assistant with Warren and Scott, we played 4-3-3. And then we played the diamond. So I was lucky enough to have a lot of different formations that I had to work with as a player and a coach. But more the coaching side of it, I got to use a lot of that previous experience and do that without the license, I guess. Like, I was using that, and I had some good coaches along the way that I could learn from. You know, you and John yourself had me. So I've had a lot of good coaches that I had to take that with me to put my own spin on it, I guess, too.
Yeah. And from a coaching pathway point of view, so you went through, you coached 11s?
11s, 12s, and then I went back and did 11s, 12s again, then 14s, and then 18s, and then I was assistant to Warren and Scott
in the top team.
In the top team, and then I went away for 2 years to North Pine, and then
I think at North Pine you won a league as well, didn't you?
Got finished second, runners up. Benny's Holland Park team finished top. They had a great team.
That's right.
And we lost the grand final, but we got promoted that year. Got them promoted to the Premier League. And then I was going to have a year off. It was pretty hard then, 2 years. I was on the young coach, and it was pretty stressful, and we just had our kids again, so it was the kid thing. And then I went to Mitchelton for half a season and helped Leo there, and that was really enjoyable, actually, because I didn't have any responsibility except I just did the training and did the sessions. And then obviously things happened at Power, and they asked me to come back, and I took over midway through that year, and I'm still here.
Rest is history. Yeah. Anything else, Nick? No, that's it. All right. Firstly, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Coming on, Aaron. I hope the kids all got something out of that, and I hope some of the parents got something out of that as well.